So we now know that the Wigan Warriors will be taking on the Catalans Dragons in the Super League Grand Final this weekend. I'm going to give you my tips and predictions, but I must warn you that in the last few weeks of Super League, in the regular season and playoffs, my prediction on the winners has been pretty damn good. May have only been 3 incorrect ones in the last month and a half. So I'll give you my prediction, but I may have just spoiled the result in this video. So let's get started. For the final time in this Super League season, we have the Wigan Warriors taking on the Catalans Dragons. Starting with league position, Wigan Warriors finished in first on the ladder in the regular season, and Catalans Dragons finished second on the ladder in the regular season. I'm going to take a look at the Dragons first. Now, I'm not going to focus too much on stats, but I'm going to talk more about vibes and the feels of these teams. Now, the Dragons have impressed me for one key reason. They've dealt with a lot of injuries extremely well. For those first 10 games, they were competing near the top with constant injuries, with a new spine it seemed every single week, and were still performing at a high level. They consistently beat the teams that they should have beat and were extremely competitive against the teams near the top. So for me, that was already a great indication that there were good things to come for the rest of the season in those early days. When Warrington Wolves started to taper off, because that was their closest rival, when Catalans were in second at the time, Warrington started to taper off. Catalans just kept it moving. They were just consistent the whole way through. Now, there was a dip a few weeks back where they started putting in a few dodgy performances. They started letting teams that they shouldn't have been losing to start to creep their way in. There's a few dodgy efforts there. Could it be fatigue? Possibly. Could it be changes in the lineup? Possibly. But there was a slight dip. I do think they've since got over that. I wanted to see a few wins out of them first before I could really take them seriously again. Not that all their hard work is just completely undone by maybe a few bad performances, but sometimes, I think Huddersfield 2 seasons ago, they had that. They were incredible all season, finished 3rd or 4th, and then by the time it got near to playoffs, and then playoffs, it just went downhill. Just crashed and burned. So Catalans, they really turned that around quite early before playoffs, to be fair. So going into this, the key player for me in this one, you can certainly look at Sam Tomkins, of course, but for me it's going to be Arthur Morg. I think Arthur Morg is the guy to look at because he's still quite a young player, relatively inexperienced, but he kind of plays with like a lot of weight on his shoulders. I sort of see that when he plays. Like, he's willing to put everything he's got into the game. It always looks like he's trying to carry the team on his back. That's just the impression I get when I watch him play, because he just wants to produce, he wants to perform. And I saw him play for France at the World Cup last year. He did the exact same thing. He took everything on by himself. Now, that's not to say he was ball hogging. I just mean he really just took on all the responsibilities. And that carried into Catalans this season, and I've been really impressed with his performances. So I do think he's going to be one of the key players. Of course, you can look at May and Pearce in the 6 and 7 role, and Tomkins, but for me, he's a key player to highlight. Another player that I want to highlight, sometimes you need your big players performing at a high level. One player I've mentioned a couple times is Benjamin Garcia. I think a lot of times loose forwards go very underrated. I think it's very difficult to find a loose forward that's effective. They're kind of in the middle range of they're not quite a prop, they're not really a spine player, they're just jack of all trades, master of none. But Benjamin Garcia, his ability to basically be a prop is huge. The amount of production that he gets through, the offloads, the post-contact meters, the total carries, the tackles. A lot of the times when I was looking at stats early on, he was leading in those areas. He's an exceptional player, great leader. I'd love to have him at my team personally, but Catalans have got a fantastic leader there. And, you know, when you need a bit of calmness, you need a bit of composure, you need to look at somebody that's going to, you know, keep everyone tight. I think he's one of those players that you certainly look at. Moving on to the Wigan Warriors, of course, one player that we need to talk about is Bevan French. Of course. He's been absolutely exceptional all year round. He is an exceptional player, simple as that. Now, in whatever position he's played in, whether it's been on the wing, at fullback, or in the halves, he's kind of played the same way every time, and that's run at the line with the ball and step. It sounds very basic, but you know what I mean. He's kind of been doing the same thing. But that's his bread and butter, and it's been working all season. Teams haven't really been stopping it, and we've seen it towards the back end of games. Maybe he's been shut down a little bit for most of a game, but then by the back end of it, he's changed it completely. He's been the one to make something happen. So Bevan French needs to be stopped. The first thing the Dragons need to do is slow his game down. If he plays on the wing, don't give him space and time to run in behind the lines. If he plays at fullback, put him under as much pressure as possible. Pin him back behind their own 10. Get him chasing after the ball. Just wear him out as much as possible. Get your props to hit him. Wear him out. If he's in the halves, make him pass early. Don't give him an opportunity to run at the line. Don't give him an opportunity to make a swinging pass over the top. Jam into him quickly. Don't let him step past you. If you grab him, you've got to take him down as well. You can't let him offload the ball or even step away from the tackle. You've got to shut him down as soon as possible. Now, it's not all about Bevan French, and there's plenty of Wigan players I could have spoken about, but I kind of just want to get into the prediction on this one. Enough yapping. Let's just get into a score. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. There's a lot of times where grand finals are extremely close. Sometimes it's just one try from either team and it comes down to a kick. For me, I've seen just enough from one team more consistently and more effectively. They've been a bit more dangerous. But I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. So I'm going to go with Wigan Warriors 14, Catalans Dragons 12. So that's going to be it for this video, and that's also going to be it for this series of videos this year for tips and predictions in Super League. I think my prediction rate has been pretty good this year, actually. A lot better than the NRL ones I've been doing. So Super League's gone quite well, and hopefully a lot of you will return next year, and we can win a bit more money. That would be decent if anyone tends to bet on these games. But I will possibly be live streaming during the grand final, so if anyone watches it on TV, feel free to stop by. We can have a chat about the game as it's going on. Feel free. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.